How can I help you today, friend?
I'm looking for a friend. He's called Capon. I'm sure you'd recognize him. In fact, you saw us both in the pillory, didn't you?
Aye, I saw you, but I ain't bothered, you know. You didn't rob me, because if you did, I'd cut your thieving hands off on the spot.
Well, what about my friend? Have you seen him since?
He must be some friend if he's scarpered without you, eh?
I'm sorry, but that's not your business, is it? Was he here then?
No, he weren't. But I ain't saying I don't know anything. Just that it ain't your business, lad. And don't try anything on me. My business ain't your business. Got that? If that Capon wants to see you, I'm sure he'll find you. He ain't no fool, I reckon.
What would you like?
Excuse me. I'm looking for someone. A friend of mine. The one who ended up in the pillory with me.
Loads of people have been in the pillory, and you know what it's like. I'm really busy right now.
You haven't seen him then? Tall, fair-haired, fancies himself and talks like a noble.
Sorry, but I'm swamped with work because of the Semine wedding. Everyone wants new clothes from me. Even Bashka the butcher ordered a jacket fit for a king, and he isn't even going to the wedding. So, no, I haven't seen your friend and I can't help you. Sorry.
Sir Hans, I'm here hunting poachers, and I come across you.
Henry! I never expected you here.
I was sent here by the Nebakov gamekeeper. He said there are poachers here, and I don't have to be King Solomon to figure out who the poacher is, do I? Jesus! You couldn't choose something different? There's all sorts of ways to make money.
Now hold your horses. How else are we supposed to get some coin quickly so we don't have to go around looking like beggars?
By honest work? This is very risky.
Look, no one found me here until you turned up. And you're only here because you're doing some terribly noble deed again and helping out old grannies in distress. And this is how it turns out.
Are you fucking serious? There are plenty of ways you could earn money. Why poaching of all things?
I've always been good at hunting. Remember how we went hunting together the first time? I really showed you up, didn't I?
As I recall, it was the other way around.
What rot! I'll make a pile of coins selling this game. And then, that idiot on the gate will finally believe we're not beggars. He'll be laughing on the other side of his face when we turn up in our finery. And it's a much better way than your idiotic idea with the forge.
And what are you doing with the game you hunt?
Thanks to my bargaining skills, I've got to deal with an excellent trader in Troskowitz.
And you realise that this trader of yours could snitch on you if he's in a corner? Or just for the reward?
My trader is reliable.
Maybe, but someone might see you together.
That's not going to happen. We're careful.
The gamekeeper wants to get rid of poachers around here, and I promise to help him do it.
Well, that's awkward for you, isn't it? Any idea what you're going to tell him?
Well, have you? Surely you don't expect me to tell him I didn't find anyone?
Why the hell not? You just found some abandoned camp, no? It's a stroke of luck that he sent you, eh?
And what am I supposed to tell the gamekeeper now?
I don't know. Make something up. Maybe you found the poacher and he didn't want to surrender. He attacked you and you beat him, and that's that.
You have to cooperate at least a bit, though. If I found you, then so can anyone else. Like people from the castle?
You're making a fuss about nothing. It was purely by chance that you found me. I'll cover all my tracks, clear the path, and I'll be very careful from now on. Just relax, no one will find me. I'll see to that.
It's not enough. How are you going to hide a camp in the middle of the woods?
I already told you what I'll do so that they don't find me. If it's not enough for you, bugger off.
Oh, and the gamekeeper will want to see some proof that I found the poacher and dealt with him. Got anything?
I could give you my equipment. It'd be pretty hard to survive without it, but...
To poach without it?
Yeah, Yeah, that's settled then.
All right.
The Lord be with you. What do you need?
You don't have to worry about the last poacher either anymore. But it was one hell of a job, I can tell you.
Really? Go on. Where was he?
North of Trotsky. He had a small camp there. Below a cliff. Just like you said.
I'm sure he realized there wasn't any point resisting. What did you do with him?
I had to kill him.
Why did you have to?
That fella wasn't keen on being arrested. The first thing he did was draw a hunting knife on me. He's done for, in any case.
Got any proof?
I found this gear on him. He probably used it to make traps, and some tongs as well. Probably for pulling out teeth and that.
Look how well kitted out them poaching vermin are. I see why he didn't want to just pack it in. He had a good thing going there. Good work. Here's your reward.
Thanks. That's a generous reward.
We don't have any more poachers, so take it as a parting gift from us huntsmen. It'll be a long time before any more of the arseholes turn up in the Trotsky forests. You sent out a clear signal what they can expect. Well, you can take a look at my bows if you want, and in return for your help, I'll take a bit off the usual price. Don't use it for poaching, though.
That's not a bad idea, you know.
Don't even think about it.
No, of course not. Thanks.
I'll tell Vostatek to do the same. But just between you and me, better buy one from me. Bows soaked in spirits aren't very hard wearing.
Greetings to you. How can I help?
What's going on around here, innkeeper?
You're not going to believe this, but 2 local lads claim they found a water goblin's treasure.
You have a water goblin here?
It would be a wonder if we didn't, with all the ponds around. He's got a hut nearby. If you follow the right bank of the Rock Tower Pond, you'll find it hidden in the reeds.
Would you happen to know where I could find these lads?
They often swim at the other side of the Rock Tower Pond. There's a pier there by the dam. That's their spot.
I'm afraid I've got bad news. I found the lads, but they were dead. They drowned.
Christ almighty! I told them they should have returned the treasure. Those poor lads. Such foolishness. Thanks anyway. I'll let the Troskovitz gravedigger know. He'll bury them. By the way, old Olbram from Zheleov keeps complaining about the Takovites. If you go and see him, I'm sure he'll tell you more about it. But, well, he takes a bit of getting used to, though.
Oh? What do you mean?
You'll see. I mean, here, and that's pretty much everything.
Thanks, innkeeper. That sounds interesting.
Hell with Duckle. Fucking dirty teeth. It's time to get payback for the last time and really make asses of them.
You're having trouble with the Takovites?
I'd say it's time to get payback for all those shenanigans of theirs. You look like you might be good at that sort of thing. And since you're already here, why don't you help me out? Trust me, I'll make it worth your while. What do you say?
Sure. If there's something bothering you, I'd be happy to help.
Listen up, then. Those naughty Takovite bastards have this nice maypole in their village. They're so proud of it, you'd think it's a gift from the king himself. Especially Project. Nothing would teach them a lesson better than stealing it and putting it up on display here. Just to spite them.
So all I have to do is take their maypole and bring it to you?
Aye, exactly. But be careful no one sees you take it. It'll be even better if they don't even know it's missing. Besides, if they catch you, they'll beat the shit out of you. So be careful.
All right. I'll be careful. Thanks.
Excellent. But even if something goes wrong, don't go clobbering anyone over the head, understand? All I want to do is piss Project off.
You want to do what to him?
Piss him off. You know? Mess with him. For stealing our maypole and our pasture. But remember, no violence, all right?
Of course. I wouldn't hurt a fly. You can count on me.
But go ahead and talk to Project. At least you'll see what an asshole he is.
Your money or your life? Hold on. I'm not holding on for no Stop! You fucker!
Please!
Do it! You want to try me?
God wills it!
Christ! I'm hit!
You're a dead man. You know that?
Cut the bullshit and fight!
What do you think you're doing?
Saving your life?
And who asked you to do that? I had them right where I wanted. A little longer and they'd be done for.
Sorry then. I was just trying to help.
Well, thanks a lot. Now everyone's going to think I'm some kind of milksop. You know what? Piss off before I kick your ass at least.
So, this is your famous maypole.
Aye, beer over gold, I say.
That's a beautiful maypole you have there. You don't see that every day. I reckon all the other villagers must envy you.
They sure do. Them Zhelievites try to steal it, but our fellas kick their asses. Why are you so interested in it anyway?
Well, I'm from a small town myself, and I can appreciate a nice maypole. I remember having to guard it every year.
Tell me about it. A real headache it is. But for a good cause. Sorry. I'm just a bit on edge these days. And if someone had bad intentions, Henrik would show them how we do things here in Tachov. That's the one thing he's good for.
I wanted to ask about Henrik.
What about him?
Did he do something to you? Sounds like you're not exactly fond of him.
Aye, I'm not. He's been getting on my nerves ever since he got together with our Manker. I'm afraid he'll mess with her head and run off with her. Just like his bloody brothers did.
Where did they go?
What do I know? One day they just packed up and wandered off. Their village wasn't good enough for them, I reckon. I wouldn't mind if someone went and beat the thought of Manker out of his head. Maybe someone not from around here.
No, this isn't for me. I don't want to get involved in your business.
Sue yourself. I won't plead with you.
How's it going?
It's shit, to tell you the truth.
How come?
Because I have to guard this bloody maypole. I can't even get a good night's sleep because of it, and there's plenty of other work to do during the day. And then there's... Ah, never mind. Forget it.
What did you want to say? Sometimes it's better to share your troubles. Two heads are better than one, after all.
I mean, if you say so, it's about Manker. I'm sure you've noticed her. She's the prettiest lass around.
Gosh, it's hard not to notice her.
Exactly. Me and Manker love each other, but her parents are against it. I don't even know why. They just don't like me. They forbid her from seeing me. We went to a dance together in Troskovitz recently, but when they found out, they were furious. Now they're keeping close watch over her and causing problems for me as well.
Well, they can't be watching her all the time, can they? Just go out late at night sometime. Nobody'll notice.
We've done that a few times, but we can't now. There's no time for it.
I've got to stand watch at night. I was drawn. This year, they want to keep the maypole up until harvest, and that's still far off.
Listen, I've got an idea. How about I stand watch in your stead for one night? You and Manka can go somewhere in the meantime. Nobody will know.
You do that for us?
Of course. It's nothing.
All right, we have a deal. Ask Manka and let me know what she says.
Henrik told me about you.
That's great. And why are you telling me?
He said you're having a hard time seeing each other because of your parents. So he came up with a plan.
Aye, that's true. So, what did you come up with?
I'll take over guard duty for him, and you two can have some time to yourselves.
Well, that sounds pretty good, actually. So, how are we going to do it?
Tonight, when everyone's asleep, you'll sneak out and wait for Henrik. I'll take over his watch, and you two, well, can do whatever you want.
All right, agreed. Tell Henrik I'll be waiting for him. He'll know where to go. And tell him I'm looking forward to tonight.
All right, I'm here. You can go and see Manka.
Great. Thanks a lot, Henry.
My pleasure. Leave it to me.
I won't forget this.
Don't mention it. Go on. Don't keep her waiting. Say, I have this fancy maypole from Takov here if you're interested.
My God, they're going to sit themselves. Nobody's got them this good in years. You're a champ, Henry. As soon as I saw you, I knew you had it in you. I promised you something, didn't I? And I'm a man of my word.
I wouldn't expect anything less. Thanks. Happy to help.
What do you say we pull one more trick, eh? I'd make it worth your while, of course.
All right. Why not?
Right. Now listen up. Let's really ruin their day, shall we?
I'm all ears.
Them Takovites grazed their sheep near the pasture they took from us. And you're going to scatter their sheep into the woods. What do you say? They'll have to herd them all back. I reckon they'll be proper pissed off.
All right. I'm sure they won't be happy about that.
That they won't. But that's not all. Project's beloved son is in charge of the sheep now. You'll make him look like a complete moron.
Project's son?
Aye. Project is in charge there. He gives me the most grief. And they all care about his opinion. If it wasn't for him, this whole bastard thing would have been sorted a long time ago. On top of that, he thinks his son is gifted, and that he'll be a bailiff somewhere one day. Nothing will piss him off more than seeing his son be the village idiot.
All right. That's a good plan.
Of course it is. I came up with it. The Takovites will be doing the wash thing soon. If you manage to drive the sheep through the drying laundry, I reckon they won't be too thrilled about it. I'll even give you an extra reward.
Say, Olbram, how am I supposed to lure away Project's son?
You'll figure it out. Actually, wait. I've got an idea. Flip this into his food, and you'll see.
What will I see?
It's what I give to my cattle for bellyache. Project's lad is going to sit all over himself. And while he's gone, you'll be able to chase off his sheep.
All right. That sounds like a plan. I'm on it.
Great. But same as before, all right? Don't go killing anyone. And don't get caught.
Did you hear about what happened at the big wheel?
Now just this.
At the mill?
Yeah, the place by the Zherovka stream.
What then? Has the water sprite been up to his mischief again?
You could say that. They found a dead body stuck in the wheel on Sunday.
You're kidding.
How's it going?
Just like any other day, I reckon. Wait a mo. You were here just before our maypole disappeared.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything. I'm sorry someone stole it, but I had nothing to do with that. Just a strange coincidence.
All right. Sorry for accusing you.
How are the sheep? Do you have any trouble with wolves?
Not really. There were a few prowling around recently, but we managed to chase them off. I'm keeping an eye out for them. But other than that, herding is a bloody bore. I come here every day, eat the lunch my sister makes for me, and stare at the sheep.
I've got to go. Take care.
Aye, you too.
I'm done with the sheep.
Ha ha! Great! How did it go? Tell me!
Well, I scattered their sheep like you wanted.
That's perfect!
That's all I can manage. I hope it's enough.
You did great, lad. You deserve a reward for your heroic deeds.
Thanks, Oldbrum.
Don't mention it. You're a handy fella. But you could be even better, with my help, of course. They say I'm a good teacher. And listen, one more thing. We'll be meeting the Takovites soon to discuss the pasture they stole from us. I'd like you to come with us. If you're not against it, that is.
So, what else do you have in store for those Takovites?
I'll tell you, friend. We're going to meet the Takovites in our pasture and try to sort it out. And if we don't get through to them, we'll kick their arses. Will you come with us?
Why not? I've already stolen a maypole and scattered some sheep.
You will? You're really in it with us up to your ears. But I reckon it won't be much fun this time. We meet in the pasture regularly, and it's always the same. I try to explain everything to Project, but he doesn't listen to me. The thieving thief! I suppose we'll fight then. Don't worry. When the Takovites see you, they won't want to mess with us.
All right. Let's show these Takovites what for.
They don't deserve anything else. Come, let's get the others and get going.
Ah, the Jelievites are finally here. Didn't feel like it, eh?
If I knew I was going to get my arse kicked, I wouldn't want to go either.
You see, Henry? They're provoking us again. They're just impossible to negotiate with.
There's nothing to negotiate, old man. The pasture is ours, and that's final.
Bullshit! You know right well that I got smacked around as a child in that orchard right over there.
What do we care where you got smacked around?
Leave him alone! Thank you.
If what Oldbrum is saying is true, this whole pasture really is theirs.
If, in your dreams, you're just trying to rob our beautiful town.
Beautiful, eh? The place is so ugly, even the plague would rather avoid it.
When they see the gruesome girls from Takov, even the dogs in the street'll back off.
But the lads from Takov, they don't mind. They do each other from behind.
You bastards! We'll see who has the last laugh when I smash your teeth in!
You'll pay for that stolen maypole. Don't forget about the sheep they chased off, them bloody Jelievite bastards. We spent all day rounding them up.
What are you getting so upset about, Takovites? It was just an innocent joke.
We're not going to take this lying down, are we?
Of course not. Enough talk. At 'em, fellas.
Hold on there, fellas. The first one to move will get slapped so hard, he'll get a second one from the ground.
Holy Mary, look at him. He's got arms like a bear.
Shut your mouth, mouth.
Talk all you want, but when he smashes my teeth in, how am I going to tell the story in the tavern?
Beat their asses already! Help me with them! You want another?
Nice! You mouldy club of bastards!
Leave him alone!
Yeah!
Let him have it! Leave him alone!
Slimy, rotten piece of shit.
Nice hit! Let him have it! Don't you dare dodge it!
Fuck that!
Burn the back!
Nice strike! You mouldy cock hair!
Oh my god. Is this vorbei?
That's a lot of blood. This should stop
Wake
it.
up, come on. Hey, wake up.
I have to say, you really know how to give each other a right thrashing around here.
That's for Thor. You're not a real man until you've had a taste of the local pork knuckle. And you held your own. Help like that deserves a reward.
Can't say no to that. If you wanted to have any more discussions with the Takovites, I'll be glad to help.
I'd say they'll be licking their wounds for a while.
What can I do for you?
Tell me more about these fights of yours.
It's really quite simple. You bet some money and fight against 3 blokes in turn. Our first fighter is Hans, a local musician. He may not look like much, but he knows a few tricks. Then we have Bohunek here. He works with horses, so he has more than enough strength to spare. And then there's Fiala. A good bloke, but Dorothy, his wife, has forbidden him from fighting.
I'd like to try the fights here.
Why not? But it won't be for free. If you don't have enough money, try to go and see Crazel at the mill. He recently bragged he was going to send someone here, but no one has come yet. Maybe you can come to some agreement together.
I prefer to pay for myself.
I see you are a man of action. I like it. The fights can get started then. Or they could. But as I said, old Fiala is sitting at home in the doghouse. His old woman won't let him fight anymore.
So you took my money for nothing?
Easy, lad, easy. We'll sort something out. What if you tried to talk to Dorothy? You're a stranger. Maybe she won't be as sharp with you as she is with us. Go and see her. She manages the baths behind the inn. It's no more than 5 steps.
All right then. I'll see what I can do.
Greetings. Hey, you're all bloody.
I'm looking for your husband, Fiala.
Do you want to shave? Fiala's the best barber in the area, but I recommend you take a proper bath first. One of the girls will take you under her wing and will work out a price for you. What do you say?
I just want to speak with him.
He has too much work. If you want to say something to him, tell me, and I'll pass it on.
Well, the thing is, we're expecting him for the fights, and now the whole tavern is waiting for him. I was supposed to come here and get him.
So Lawrence isn't going to leave us in peace? Nothing doing. I told him clearly. He's staying home.
But we can't start without him.
And it serves you right. Find some more intelligent entertainment.
Why don't you want to allow Fiala to fight?
Because he always beats everybody up. Then the lads are all black and blue, and the girls don't have a lot of business. Putting poultices on bruises isn't going to pay for a new roof.
Have no fear. If you let him go, I'll give him such a going over he won't want to fight ever again.
Well, you seem like you might be able to manage that. But don't go and cripple him or anything. He has a lot of work to do here.
Don't worry. I'll be careful.
All right, then. Take Fiala with you. But this time, it really is the last time.
Goodman, come here for a moment.
Why not?
Did I hear right that you're going to compete in the fights at the tavern?
Aye, I'm planning to. Why?
Well, I have a favour to ask of you.
And what do you need, girl?
One of the fighters, named Bohunek, he takes care of the horses here.
What about him?
I want you to give him a proper beating, so he won't be able to sit for at least a week.
And why? Did something happen?
He often comes to see me, pretends he likes me, but last time he came drunk. He ordered a bath, something to eat and drink, but then he suddenly knocked the tray out of my hand and started groping me.
Wait, he...
No, luckily not. But when I pulled away from him, he hit me so hard I thought he'd knock my eye out.
Bastards like that should get a proper beating. Hitting girls.
So you'll give him a hiding?
You better believe it. He won't put his hands on you anymore.
Thank you. Then come and see me. I'll figure out a way to repay you.
I'm looking for the barber, Feeler.
Then you found him. What can I do for you?
Get up. Let's go and fight.
Really? So Dorothy allowed it?
She said she'd let you go this one last time.
That's my girl. Let's go. We can't keep the lads waiting.
A musician and a fighter. You don't see that every day.
When you spend as much time as I do in Kneipen und Schenken and catch so many Schläge, you learn to return them.
No, I get that. But why are you fighting for money?
I've been here a long time and I would like to travel a bit further. Every groschen helps.
Where are you headed?
Württemberg, Prag, Wien, wherever my feet will take me. Or a willing foreman will carry me. So maybe I shall end up in the next tavern or in the Dunghaufen behind the village.
Come and fight.
Wunderbar. Ausgezeichnet. Möchtest du wetten? It's more fun when you have something to lose or win.
Here you go.
That is what I like to see.
Ah!
My sister could be... So nicht! Haha, ich poliere dir deine Fresse! You gave me a beating. If you broke meine grazilen Finger, I won't be able to play anything for a while.
Thanks for the fight.
Ja. You too. Here are your winnings.
Thanks.
Here! Oh! Oh! Ah! Fucking hell! Here!
What do you enjoy about fighting so much?
What do I know? Sometimes it's just fun to punch someone, and it makes quite an impression on the girls. When a man has a sound punch, a girl feels safer with him.
Well, I don't know about that. Anna said she didn't feel very safe with you.
Ah, the stories women tell. You can't believe everything.
So she got those bruises from someone else?
Why do you care if someone hit that harlot a few times? I'm sure she deserved it.
Well, at least I have a reason to beat 7 shades of shit out of you.
You just try it, you hero.
Let's fight.
It'll be my pleasure. But before we start, I'll collect the bets. Do you have any money?
I do. Here you go.
And now pray. My man. Fucking hell! Bad luck. My. That lad's a kicker. You're going down. Just you wait. You don't look like it, but you're a good fighter. Here you go. And you owe me a tooth, you cunt.
An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth.
What the fuck are you on about?
That's for Anna. And if I ever hear you touched her again, I'll use my steel instead of my fists.
All right, fine. I'll leave her alone.
Does your Dorothy hold you back a bit?
Think whatever you want, but she turned me into a decent bloke. She's only trying to keep me away from temptation.
And what were you before?
A drunken good-for-nothing who could even lose his own soul at dice.
So what did she see in you?
That's a long story, but it involves Dorothy, me, a pitchfork, and the arse of one uppity customer.
So, are we going to fight or not?
You better believe it. But we have to bet first, right? Let's make this interesting.
The bet sounds good. Here you are.
That's what I like to see. Fight!
Show him what for.
You're no match for me!
My granny can punch Give it all you got. Show him what for. My granny can
Let me enjoy this one last time.
My granny can punch My sister can beat both of you with one hand.
I'll knock your whiskers right off your face.
My sister can beat both of you with one hand behind her back. My granny can punch harder than you. Give it all you got. You call yourself a fighter?
Let me enjoy this one last time.
Praise God.
I defeated all my opponents.
I noticed, and I couldn't believe my own eyes. I thought Fiala would send you home crying. But you certainly deserve to win anyway.
Thanks.
By the way, if you enjoy fighting, go and see Crazel the miller in Lower Semine. Maybe he'd let you try your strength against some of his hired hands.
Maybe I will, if I'm ever in the area. I think Bahunek won't be bothering you anymore.
Did you give him a proper licking?
A proper licking? That's an understatement. I beat the shit out of him.
I knew I could rely on you. Unfortunately, I can't pay you for it. I can barely make ends meet myself. But I can sew clothes and wounds.
Thanks. That'll come in handy.
And I can also teach you something. How to mix a special ointment or to make a few stitches with a needle. What do you say?
I need to be treated.
You bastard! I should have seen through you.
What? But I didn't...
Enough! You'll get what's coming to you. Just you wait.
People call you the mouth, right? They say you tell all sorts of stories.
I'm no mouth to you. My name is Denyik, got that? What do people call you then? Bughead? Arseface?
I'm sorry, Stenyak. I'm Henry.
Pleased to meet you. But you were right about the stories. I could tell you stories so sad they'd make the devil cry. Or would you prefer something so scary it'll make the hairs on your ass turn white? But it's a lot of hard work for me. Now, if you had something to drink or a couple of groschen, that might help loosen my tongue.
I know quite a few stories myself. How about a trade? A story for a story.
All right, then. But if it's the one about the magic porridge pot, don't bother. I've heard it 100 times. And that story always leaves me feeling hungry.
I know a romantic tale about a knight, his lady love, and 3 impossible tasks he had to undertake to win her heart. He had to bring her the sweetest wine, tame the wildest horse, and make a crown with the rarest gem.
And then? What happened when he'd done all 3?
Oh, the lady of his heart showed her gratitude by giving him the most precious thing she had. And I'm not talking about gold.
Ho! A raunchy ending. That'll be popular with the lads round here. If I were you, I'd make it longer. To last a whole evening. Add a wicked stepmother, that sort of thing. It'll be a hit. And now, I'll tell you a tale in return. So what kind of story would you like to hear?
I like stories that can teach me something. Stories with a moral.
Haven't you heard enough of those in church? But it's not a problem. I have just the tale for you. And it's not one you'll hear from any priest. So, once upon a time, there lived in these very lands 2 brothers. The older was called Kuba, the younger, Matthias. They were both woodcutters, like their father and his father before him. One day, at the height of summer, they were working in the woods. The air was as hot as a furnace, so Matthias went to a nearby pond to cool himself. But as he was leaning over the cold water, there was a loud splash. His axe had got loose from his belt. In haste, he began to search the muddy bed of the pond, and his hands soon touched something hard and heavy. He pulled it out and could not believe his eyes. He pulled out an axe. Yes, but not his old one. It was an axe made of pure silver.
Good God. I'd grab that without a second thought.
Maybe you would, but Matthias would never. He was an honest man, and with a big swing he threw the silver axe back. He searched the pond again, and this time he pulled out his own axe. Nothing but dull iron and old wood.
Wait, Matthias threw the silver axe back? What a fool! He could have sold it.
A fool, you say? You'd better listen well. Matthias was just about to leave when suddenly a water goblin came out of the pond, silver axe in his hands, and he said, "You're a righteous man, Matthias, and for your honesty, you may keep both axes." Matthias, not hanging around for the goblin to change his mind, took up both axes, gave us thanks, and ran to tell Kuba all about it. Kuba, however, was not best pleased with his little brother's fortune. He deeply envied Matthias for his newfound wealth, so he set out to try the same thing. He ran as fast as his legs could carry him straight to the pond, threw his own axe in, and began a pretend search for it. Yet Kuba had no luck. He pulled out the axe he'd thrown in himself, so he tried again. Tricked by sunlight, he grabbed something shiny, only to pull out his old iron axe again. Enraged, he hurled his axe back into the water and yelled, "Fuck this axe! I want a silver one!" But the water goblin heard his shameful cry and was greatly upset by Kuba's greed. So, when Kuba reached down into the water for a third time, the water goblin seized his hand, pulled him down whole to the dark depths, and drowned him.
Oh, that's so cruel. I feel sorry for Kuba.
Aye, and so did Matthias. He went to the water goblin and begged for his brother's body so he could take him home and bury him. But the path back from the pond led over a steep hill, and carrying the weight of the waterlogged body exhausted Matthias. He stopped to rest by an old oak tree, and he used a silver axe to cut off a branch that would serve as a walking stick. But it wasn't enough. Somehow, it was still getting harder to continue up the hill. Then Matthias realized it wasn't his brother's body that was weighing him down. It was the silver axe. The axe was the cause of all this trouble. So he started bashing the silver axe against the big stone with all his might, trying to destroy it. Yet no matter what, he couldn't even make a dent. With the last of his strength, Matthias climbed to the top of the hill. He knew he could go no further, so he found a pretty spot with a view over the valley and dug his brother a grave. There, he buried both his brother and the silver axe that had brought such pain upon them. His final act was to stick the oak branch in the ground by the grave. But lo and behold, the branch grew green leaves and became a tree. The locals have had no dealings with the water goblin since then, but some have had the bad luck to bump into him. And when you walk by the pier, where it all happened, you can still hear his chuckling.
That was a very nice story.
Story? What story? It's the truth.
Why hasn't anyone gone looking for the axe then?
Because it brings misfortune. Didn't you listen to me at all? Look for yourself if you wish. Rock Tower Pond isn't far from here. The Watcher Goblin's Pier is somewhere among the reeds. But leave me out of it. I'm fine here with my drink.
Welcome, my good man. Karl von Unterbrick is the name.
I'm Henry. Are you German?
No. Why? Should I be?
Well, you've got a German face.
Honest looking, eh?
Yes. And do you live here? Under the bridge?
You envy me, eh?
Of course. It's a real palace.
Well, don't even think about it. It's my bridge. And now you're here. Do you want to buy something?
You're selling something?
Of course. Gifts from heaven.
Gifts from heaven? What do you mean?
Just what I said. You're a bit slow, aren't you? When folks go home from the tavern, often as not they're pissed as a newt. And from time to time they drop something. Or even throw something down here. All nice stuff it is. See for yourself.
Show me your wares.
Thank you, and take care.
Hey! Get him! Show your stuff! Fucker! For fuck's sake! Stop! Do it! Useless! You fight like an old hound!
And at the dawn of the 7th day, a rider on a white steed appeared and rescued me.
What did you say? What steed?
Oh, nothing. I was just thanking you. If it weren't for you, I'd have given up the ghost.
Ah, don't mention it. I was glad to help.
So valiant and yet so modest. You are definitely worthy.
Worthy of what?
The rare opportunity I'm about to offer you. I purvey wares from the most mysterious ends of the earth. The water of life, a magical cudgel, a stone that turns anything into gold, and all sorts of other wonders. All this could be yours, and for you, my hero, at a bargain price.
I think I'll be going now. You take care. Could this be the pier from Zdeněk's story? He said Matthias carried Kuba's body up the hill from here. Up to an old oak tree. Well, there really is an old oak tree here. But what was the rest of the story? Something about smashing the axe on a rock. This could be the rock from the story. I'm on the right path. A grave under the tree, overlooking the valley. This must be where Kuba, Matthias's brother, is buried. Together with the silver axe. God in heaven. This really is the axe. All those years in the earth haven't treated it well. I hope I can fix it. This'll be done in no time.
Welcome. What can I do for you?
I found the water goblin's silver axe.
What do you mean? What axe?
The one from your story. 2 brothers, a silver axe, a water goblin. One brother got the axe, the other got drowned. You know.
Wait, so you actually found it? Do you have it? I have to see it.
Here you go.
It's not possible. Where did you find it?
I just followed your story. I found the pier by the rock tower pond, then went up to the old oak tree, then the big stone beside the road.
Doesn't really look like a woodcutter's axe. Are you sure this is really it?
But you didn't say it was a woodcutter's axe. You only said the water goblin's axe was silver.
I did, but still. In all the years that story's been told, everyone thought it was just a fairy tale for children. It has 4 different endings nowadays. When Johann and Jaleov tells the tale, it's about 2 sisters, and the water goblin grants one of them a pair of silver slippers. The other sister was jealous, but she didn't bother with the water goblin. She found her sister straight away and pushed her off a cliff in Apollonia. It's the same story, but Johann gave it some extra colour. Best not go looking for the slippers too. Although, with your luck...
What are you here for, friend?
I heard you could use a helping hand at the forge.
I could. My last 2 hands, well, they're not worth mentioning. And what with the wedding coming up, the work is piling up. What do they call you?
Henry.
I'm Radovan. You should know, Henry. The blacksmithing isn't for everyone. Have you done it before?
Yeah. I basically grew up in the forge. My father was a swordsmith, and not just any. He even forged swords for the nobility.
For the nobility, eh? Well, that kind of experience will come in very handy for me indeed. As it happens, I have to forge a wedding present for young Lord Semine. A fine sword.
So you'll take me on?
Hold your horses. I'll have to try you out first. You could forge me a hunting sword as a test, so I can see if you can make a straight blade. That shouldn't give you much trouble if your father was a swordsmith, should it?
Sure thing. I can get started right away.
Great. Find some iron and get started then.
Iron?
You can't make a sword out of butter, but if you don't have your own stuff, you can get everything from the chest in my forge. Furnace is cold now. Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up bit by bit. Try poking it around for a bit. See? It's the colour of straw, which is what you want. And you heated the whole thing up. Nicely done. Now you can go straight to the anvil. Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it. Right. Let's have a look. Very nice work. Your father taught you the trade well.
He'd certainly be happy to hear that.
If you carry on hammering as well as you did today, you've definitely got a job here. Even so, keep in mind, it's all about making sure every strike does its job. That's why you can't let it get cold, or keep striking the same spot. If you work evenly, each strike falling right next to the last one, you can't go wrong. Got that? Or is there something else you want to ask about?
Thanks. That's all I need to know.
You can sleep in the chamber by the woodshed. And there's a chest where you can keep your things. And of course, you can use the forge anytime you want. Any questions?
What now?
What do you think? You're not going to be idle. I'll find you some work to do right away. You're pretty good at swords, but what the locals really need is axes and horseshoes. Right, here are some simple drawings that show what they're both supposed to look like. And some iron. You can get down to it right away.
Just like that? You aren't going to help me?
Sacre, lad. I chose you because you already know a thing or two. I'm not going to look over your shoulder all bloody day. You take care of these smaller jobs. Forge away as long as you're able, and then sell it all. Once you've made some coin and feel like being out in the open again, I'll give you some more interesting work. See you around.
Oh, I'll see you later.
Up in the yard again today.
Not a chance. That old coot will outlive us all. No, it was Jan. The beanpole.
But he was fit. But the river there had a powerful current. The dead man had been floating.
Good. This won't take long now.
It's about those two idiot hands of mine, Venser and Franzi. They drove off with a cart full of goods towards Semine, and they never came back.
Do you want me to find them?
Just so. But more importantly, I want to know where my cart ended up, and especially the cargo. Go to Semine and find out what the bloody hell happened.
Those two hands of yours, Venser and Franzi, what can you tell me about them?
Can't tell you much. They're wandering laborers. I don't think they wanted to stay here with me for long, but these days I can use all the help I can get.
Were they suspicious in any way?
No, they worked hard. They ain't no slackers. And I can't say that about everyone.
What was the cart carrying?
Bugger and bollocks. All sorts of stuff. I'd say Lord Semine wants to rearm his garrison with new equipment. There were some hunting swords, bastard swords, crossbow bolts. I also fixed the trigger on young Semine's crossbow. And some kitchen stuff. Sacks of charcoal, all sorts of things. There's a good month's work in that cartload.
All right. I'll get right on it then.
Go ahead. And if you find that pair of fools drunk, kick their asses for me.
Gladly. I'll kick some sobriety into them.
Come on, don't be shy. I won't bite.
That's a relief. What were you going to offer me?
Curiosity killed the cat. No shame in that, though. They call me Barley.
You have a peculiar name.
If I were ordinary, well, that's just another way of saying boring. And boring's not for me. So I wander the roads collecting my riddles, and if I meet anyone I find interesting, I'll happily work a riddle on them.
A riddle? Very well. Let's hear it.
Now, listen carefully. What belongs to you alone, but is used more often by others? Any idea?
My name.
That's right! You have a learned head on those shoulders. The robes of a priest would suit you better than a sword.
They really wouldn't, I assure you.
More's the pity. But down to business. I have a proposition for you. You deserve a reward for solving my riddle. Except, you've caught me flat broke. I can give you some of what little I have. Or teach you some of what I know. What'll it be?
I'm always up for learning something new. What can you teach me?
I spend my days on the roads and my nights in the taverns. What interests you more?
Tell me about the taverns.
There's this dingy place in Kuttenborough, where you'll find a skeleton at one of the tables. Drank, and drank, and drank he did, until he drank himself to death.
And how exactly is this going to be of any use to me?
Next time you go drinking, be sure to remember him. No matter how well your evening is going, sometimes it's better to quit while you're ahead.
Well, I might just put that to the test. Thanks.
Safe travels.
So I says to him, "No, father, I haven't been fornicating. I've just been loving my neighbour."
Hey! You alright there, laddie?
Oh, you should have seen him. He went as late as a cardinal's hat. Aye. Hey, servant, bring some wine.
Me? I'm not a servant.
Oh, I know. Old Semine is saving supplies for the wedding later. But you didn't need to bother your wee head about that.
Look, I'm not from here.
Oh. I didn't give a fuck what you free. You speak our language, do you not?
Well, Yurko, seems to me this fella doesn't know how to behave toward his betters.
The old man's hired hands are lacking in manners. We'll soon fix that. I'll get you.
Flatten the cheeky wee shite, eh?
Why did you do that?
Flatten the cheeky wee shite.
Come on! I'm winded. Oh!
Come on, Yurko!
You're a dead man. You know that?
Cut the bullshit and fight! Come on.
Oh, you wee blasted! In the devil's name is fucking going on here?
What do you think's going on, Grandad? I'm teaching your people here how we do things.
Grandad?
Why, Grandad? An old captain like you probably still remember the flood.
True enough, Yurko. I am old. And I remember all sorts of things. Like you. When you were a little nipper running around here bare arse, with a ribbon in your hair, screaming out how you was Princess Sophie. Poor lad, hadn't a moment's peace from his big sisters.
What about that way?
Who in God's name are you?
Henry. The Takoff blacksmith sent me. Radovan.
Blacksmith, eh? Then you'll have some explaining to do. Come along and never mind that fool Yurko. Young Samin's getting married, so we has to put up with his kin from Moravia.
We'll be needing a dozen geese. And I must tell Vashek to get 3 pigs ready for slaughter. And the carters will have to be sent to Yetchin to get at least a peck of poppy seed for cakes. And gingerbread spices. Oh, and wine, too. It's almost all gone, what we bought only last week.
Enter!
Sorry to intrude, sir. This is Henry, Blacksmith Radovan's hand.
Oh, excellent. Dorothy, leave us now. Just make sure that there's plenty of everything so long as it doesn't cost too much.
But, sir...
Not another word! Leave us! So Radovan sent you alone. Who's going to unload it all? It's a whole cartload.
Yeah, Radovan sent me, sir, but not with the goods. The thing is, he's missing his cart, along with the carter in his hands.
What? But they never came here. Are you telling me they got lost?
Well, I couldn't tell you what happened to them, sir, but it's my job to find them.
There are all sorts of vermin roaming the countryside.
Oh, no
so...
need to imagine the worst right off, gnarly. Anyway, I need the load from that cart, so saddle up your old nag and we'll ride out, Captain. I could do with a breath of fresh air. I've had it up to the eyeballs with counting geese and pies.
What about Henry here, sir?
Well, what about him?
We could use an extra pair of hands. You know how my shoulder's acting up. Yurko is shit-faced, and your son...
The older has work to do. All right, take Henry with you if you want. Just so long as he doesn't slow us down.
Thank you, sir. So, lad, you going with us? I hope you're happy about it.
Yeah. I'll be glad to help you.
Oh, you reckon we can't manage on our own?
No, that's not how I meant it.
Take it easy, son. I'm only yanking your pizzle. So, do you know what to do? Or have you got any more questions?
Actually, There is something I'd like to ask about. This Yurko and his mates, who are they?
They're Lord Samin's kin. They're fine as long as they don't get too much booze inside them.
Only they're from Moravia, so they're never far from the booze.
But what can I tell you, lad? Each to himself. Besides, they stick with the family when push comes to shove. And you can't say that about everyone.
And you, sir? What is it you do?
Well, son, I wonder if I haven't made a mistake about you. If you haven't figured me out by now, you can't be very bright.
No, I just meant, what exactly is it you do for Lord Semin? And your name isn't exactly very common.
I'm the captain here, and I'm sure I don't have to tell you what a captain does. As for my name, it's a nickname Lord Samin's grandpa gave me. May he rest in peace. When I joined his service as a young fella, I took my gnarly club with me. Wouldn't use anything else. I was used to it. And more than once helped me to, well, win an argument. I broke many a hard skull with it. And it's still in one piece. We've been together so long, we even share the same name.
You're lucky you didn't turn out to be Captain Knob.
Or Captain Headcracker. You're right.
We should probably get going.
My thoughts exactly. Off to the courtyard, then.
I'm ready to set out, Captain.
Great. Now stick close to us, lad, and don't go wandering off.
All right, Captain.
If they drove out of Tarkov and headed towards us, they had to pass through Troskovitz.
Right, sir. You keep up with us, son. Troskovitz ain't far, but it seems there's fellas vanishing on the way.
Very good, Captain.
What do you think about it, Captain?
I know you told me not to jump to any conclusions, sir, but I can't help myself. Someone's running rampant around here, sir.
I know who's running rampant. Yurko in the cellar. We're out of wine again. I knew this wedding wouldn't be cheap, but I'm bleeding like a stuck pig. And the bailiff, the bride's father, you'd get more blood out of a stone than coin out of him. And then he behaves like I shit golden eggs just because I'm a noble. Even though he's got more coin than me.
Such are the times, sir. But that Yurko, he's going too far.
You know how those Moravians are. It's in his blood.
Aye, I noticed. But they're getting too much to handle. Him and his cronies. They started on young Henry, soon as he set foot on the courtyard.
What? Is that true, Henry?
It was nothing. Just a bit of a friendly brawl. They clearly had a skinful. I can understand it.
Well, I've sure as hell got no understanding for it. I hope they didn't hurt you.
Young Henry here gave Yurko a nice hammering.
Oh, that's no surprise. The fella can hardly stand upright most of the time.
You'd have to get up early to catch them sober. But they wasn't that drunk as to give Henry an easy fight.
Look here, lad. If you're such a champion, I'm sure you'd accept the challenge of an old man like myself.
It would be an honor, sir.
Excellent. Not afraid, eh? That's what I like to see. There's an abandoned pen along the path a bit. We'll stop off there and see what you're made of.
All right, sir. If you'll excuse me, I'll explain some things to the youngster here first. Wouldn't want no accidents happening.
So, we're here. Gnarly, tell the youngster here what's what.
All right, son. You're going to fight Lord Samin. It'll be an honourable fight, so you better act accordingly. Hold on a mo. I'll give you some gear for it.
What weapon will you give me?
What would you like?
Sword?
Don't get ahead of yourself, laddie. A sword belongs in noble hands. You can have my cudgel. It might be just a stick, but it's my stick, so careful with it.
Thank you, Captain.
Save the thanks, and get your arse into the pen.
So, young'un, are you ready?
All right, let's do it.
Ah.
Ah.
Ah. Ah. Ah. Ah.
Fucking hell! Corver, I'm wounded. Fuck that!
Come here, son. Come here, son. What do you say, son?
You really gave me the runaround.
I'm no spring chicken, but I'm as spry as ever.
God's truth, sir. You didn't disgrace yourself, but I can see the young un has spirit. Anyways, you can keep that old junk, Henry. Even my cudgel. But take care of the old fella. He might be just a piece of wood, but he saved my arse more than once.
I will, Captain.
And since you won, I've got something else for you as well. My shield.
Isn't that a bit too much, Gnarly?
Sir, my left shoulder's fucked anyway. I can't carry no shield.
True enough.
Thank you.
I needed that. It's good to stretch the limbs every now and again. And you're pretty handy, youngster. You should come to the courtyard, and Gnarly here will give you a good education in the art of the sword.
I call it The art of not getting skewered as soon as you step foot outside the village. But do come, Henry. We've got a nice arena in Sameen. It ain't no abandoned pig pen.
You can't always choose your battleground, Gnarly. Whether it's a pig pen or an arena in Karlstein. It's the performance that counts. And while we're on the subject, where are you from, lad? It's clear you're not from Trotsky.
I'm from Silver Scallops, sir.
Aha! Now I understand why you're here. You're not the first one to flee here from the war.
I don't flee from a fight, sir. I have work here, and a lot of scores to settle.
You want to get revenge for what happened back home? That usually doesn't end well. You'd be better advised to find yourself a well-built girl, build a cottage, and visit the church and the tavern in turn. There's no helping the dead anyway.
That's nice advice, sir. Only women will tie you down, lad. Better to go and see a bit of the world. You're doing the right thing. So, we're in Troskowitz. What now, sir? Should I go to the bailiff and ask if he might have seen someone?
Well, that makes sense. But the young fella here should do it. If the bailiff sees you, he'll guess I'm in the village and come and bother me. And I'm really not in the mood today for any bombardment of complaints.
I understand, sir. All right, Henry. Run along to the rat house and inquire about that wagon.
And Henry, not a word about me. Are we clear?
As you wish, sir.
God bless.
And with you.
Master Bailiff, can I ask you about something?
Ask away, by all means. Wait now, aren't you that lad who's helping Radovan in the forge?
Yeah, that's me.
I heard his hired hands went missing.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm here.
Ah, I was thinking they were driving awful fast with that cart.
You saw them?
I did, a few days back. They raced through the village in the early evening so fast, they were dropping sacks of charcoal.
Where were they headed?
Towards the east, to Apollonia on the road to Yichin. And you're looking for them?
I am indeed.
I'm glad to hear it. I heard there were goods for Semine on that cart, and I can do without that kind of trouble now, on account of the wedding, you know?
Do you know anything about Radovan's hired hands?
Only what I've told you. But to tell you the truth, I wouldn't mind if they never turned up again.
Why's that?
Well, they might look like butter wouldn't melt in their mouths, and Radovan praises them, but I know people. That pair have mischief in their eyes. I can tell.
It seems you have a lot of concerns with that wedding, Master Bailiff.
Of course I do. I'm the father of the bride, after all. Although not everyone sees eye to eye with me. Lord Semine would be happier if I paid all the bills and left all the decisions up to him. Who's invited, what there'll be to eat and drink, entertainment, everything. It's not like I have a burning desire to deal with it, but if I'm going to pay for it...
I understand. But isn't it just that the groom's family is more concerned about these things?
That's not it. I'll tell you what it is. It's because Lord Semine is a noble and I'm just a commoner. Only I've got coin. While he's trying to keep the wolf from the door in that piddling estate of his.
You ought to calm down, Master Bailiff. That kind of talk can stir things up.
You're right, of course. It just makes me mad, though.
I understand. That'll be all. Thanks.
Well then, young man, how did it go?
They were spotted here, sir. Going to the east, towards Apollonia.
So to Yichin? The bastards! And what about my goods?
Oh, they were driving so fast, it was falling off the cart.
The thieving scum. Let's hurry. To Yichin!
Sir, I could send a message to the Yichin captain of the guard.
Oh, it'll take too long. We'll go and get them ourselves. And listening to Dorothy's endless fussing, I'll take Yichin any time. Besides, there's a nice inn along the way, the Three Cats. We can spend the night there.
I remember that place, but I'm not sure, sir, if they'll let the two of us set foot inside the door.
Oh, gnarly, that was 15 summers ago. God knows if the place is even still standing.
True. Still, we'd better keep our eyes peeled. They might not have gone to Yichin. They could have turned off somewhere. Or something could have happened. They might have been ambushed, maybe.
Will you give over with that? I'll bet my brains they weren't ambushed. More likely we'll find them boozing at the Three Cats.
So, St. Anthony, which way now?
While you're praying to the patron saint of lost things, go and have a look along the road, Gnarly. And you, Henry, have a look to the left.
All right, sir. But don't forget, my eyesight ain't what it used to be.
Well, that's what we have the youngster for, isn't it? Off you go.
Christ, can't you wash up before going out in public?
Did you see a cart drive through here by any chance?
All the time, friend, from Troskovich to Yitchin and back. Sometimes even a slow cart with a dead body.
I'm looking for a cart loaded with goods from the blacksmith. Probably moving fast.
Now that you mention it, I do recall something of the like. They even dropped a sack of charcoal. When you go out of the cemetery onto the road, you should see it right there on the right-hand side.
You found anything, lad?
There's a sack of charcoal lying in the ditch to the left of the road. The bailiff said they were driving like the devil, so maybe it fell from the cart.
Oh, that makes sense. To the left it is, then. Gnarly! Back here!
We're getting close. I can feel it in my bones, sir. You'll have the car back in no time.
I just hope we find the horses, too. Yarmilka here ain't the youngest, and I wouldn't want to drag it back home myself.
A nobleman in harness. We ain't ever had such a spectacle in these parts.
You might get to see it soon enough. The lords in this country have all gone to the dogs. Every lowborn with a bit of coin builds a house in Kuttenberg, while we live in squalor. Why do you reckon that is, lad?
That's the change in the economical situation, sir. The burghers have more rights, and they make smart use of them. They put their coin to work for them. They've got shops, baths, inns, mills, while the nobles sit waiting until Jack from Backwater Hamlet brings them 3 groschen in taxes on St. Gallus's Day.
You're right there. Only Jack hasn't even got 3 groschen these days. None of this would be happening if we had a king. And I mean a real one, not Wenceslas or Sigismund. Oh, anywhere that's not ruled by a strong hand, all sorts of things go wrong.
Especially when you've got Moravian relatives eating you out of house and home.
Oh, hold up. This is strange. I don't see any cart tracks. What do you reckon, Gnarly?
I'm blind as a mole, sir. But it's all peculiar right enough. Where the hell could that cart have vanished to?
Well, that's just it. They had nowhere to turn off.
I'll look up the road a bit. And you, Henry, have a look back along the road. Maybe it fell in a ditch somewhere. Who knows?
Very well, sir. The blacksmith's cart. And someone went to a hell of a lot of trouble to hide it from the road. Hey! I found the blacksmith's cart! Come here!
Well, now, here we have it. The blacksmith's cart.
And someone went to a lot of trouble to hide it from the road.
Of course, the goods are gone. The bastards hauled it off to the rocks. That's clear. Well, we can't let them get away with it.
I told you, they got ambushed by them bastards that's on the rampage around here, sir.
Oh, be quiet. We still can't be sure of anything.
Here is a young lad.
Oh, not me. This place always gave me the shivers.
God's truth, I ain't got only good memories of it. One time, got my legs stuck in a crevice a bit further on. Trapped there all night I was, shitting myself with fear. It wasn't till morning that the folk from the fortress found me. The whole of Sameen was out looking for me.
See, at least you came here as a kid. It still gives me the creeps here.
Why's that, sir? It's just some rocks, ain't it?
You'd sing a different tune if you'd had the rope-maker's wife as a nanny when you were little. Now, she had some tales about this place. Headless horsemen, goblins and white ladies. Every night, we'd gather by the hearth. The old woman would sit at her spinning wheel telling stories. I'll tell you, Captain, there isn't much I'm afraid of. But when that blind old crone was croaking her tales of devils and holes to hell, with the fire crackling and the wind whistling outside the windows, and the whirring of the spinning wheels...
They rolled around and gave off
Listen.
sparks.
I hear it.
There's somebody there, sure enough.
Let's get closer.
You two are arseholes. I'd have nothing to do with a wench like that. It ain't right having a pair.
What do we do now? I heard more than two voices.
I used to clamber around here as a young lad. The girls from Slattergo used to come make a fire here and jump over it. And so's their underwear wouldn't catch fire. Sometimes they'd take it off.
That's nice, Gnarly, but I don't think it's scantily clad maidens we'll be running into here. So what's that got to do with anything?
Well, there's a nice view into the gorge from up there. We only have to go back a bit, and we can get up there nicely.
Right. Henry, what are you waiting for? This is just the kind of thing we took you along for.
Sure, sir. With a bit of luck, there might be some girls there, too.
I could do without girls with voices like that. Now get going.
That was a priest. Oh, he's a drunken old fool who claims he was a priest. He can't even quote one psalm.
Don't you think he'd have a better nickname than Stumble if he was a priest?
Hey,
Those
it ain't
definitely
his
aren't
fault.
the blacksmith's
What's wrong with
hands.
his legs?
So how's it look, Sonny? How many?
I saw 3. And they don't look like Radovan's hands.
And what about my goods?
I didn't see them. It looked more like a patrol. I reckon there might be more of them hereabouts.
Seems we can't avoid a fight. I hope you're ready, Henry.
Of course. We'll smash them to smithereens, and in the evening, we'll drink a toast from their skulls. Ha-ha!
Hold your horses, son. Keep some of that piss and vinegar for the fight. You might have whipped me in that pig pen, but this is a different matter.
So, how are we gonna do it? Do you just want to charge them, sir?
What else do you suggest?
We ought to pounce on them, while we have the moment of surprise.
The words of a real man. So get ready, and we'll go for them. Nice and quick, before the bastards realize what's going on.
Try a different colour. And he
You know what crosses folk have to bear.
I'll show you. It'll be over. Ain't got enough yet. At them. Hey, I need a hand here. You won't get me. I'll be done with you in a flash.
Hey, get here!
Get away with that!
Get your ass off!
Nice strike. He's done for.
Oh, this day took it out of me, and no mistake.
And it ain't over yet, sir. Your goods ain't here. And none of them bastards look like the blacksmith's hands. Am I right, Henry?
Hard to say. I've never actually seen them. But I don't think it was them.
Me neither. But right past that peak is another good camping spot.
You think this was a patrol?
It makes sense. But I don't want to go assuming the worst. We might have just run into them bandits by chance.
Yeah, well, you were right, as always. Let's go, then. Are you ready, Henry?
I am. Let's go.
I thought we had everything clear, then, sir. You tried to fuck with me, so until we ride out, you're gonna stick right there and keep your mouth shut.
We did everything you asked. We got the blacksmith cart and the goods.
Horse shit. You tried to fuck me. That bastard cousin of yours owned up to it.
It was his idea. I wanted nothing to do with it.
It makes no difference to me, Venser. You vouched for the crooked fucker. So now, it's on you. Actually, you could consider yourself lucky. If you hadn't saved my ass that time in Colleen, I'd have goat ear skin you alive.
Bastards. You can't trust anyone in these parts. Get ready, Gnarly. We are going to parley.
I
like that time at the Shani, sir?
Yes, exactly.
Only there was more of us that time, and less of them.
Oh, don't worry, there won't be a problem. They're just common thieves. Besides, I'll take young Henry with me.
What, me?
And if they're still feeling brave, you get to try out that new plaything of yours.
Ahem, gentlemen, I'm obliged to you for looking after my goods, but I'll take them back now. Just hand them over and I'll let you go.
Oh, you must be from Samin, sir. Well, of course you can have everything back. Just as long as you ask nicely, eh? Well, how about we do things differently? You lay down your weapons, and we can all have a nice little chat. I mean, I don't intend to go murdering local lords. I just want your coin.
That's very noble of you, sir.
What are you gaping at? At them!
Hey, come on, man! Show what you're made of! Slice them up!
Keep it up! Nice hit! I'll hack your ass off! Yeah, don't spare him!
Oh, big... Slice him up! They got what they deserved, the fuckers! Henry! Hey, Henry! Are you listening?
You have to
Come here!
What now?
One of them bastards fled into the rocks. Chase him down and bring him back.
I'll go and track him then.
Great. Hurry.
I've got you now, Venser. You've nowhere to run to. Yield.
Well, why the fuck would I? It's just you against me. Besides, if I do yield, it's the rope for me anyway.
Who knows what they'll do to you? You might just get a whipping.
For robbing Semine, that old miser. He'll have me strung up from the nearest tree. I'd be better off jumping off the cliff.
Hey, I saw you cozying up with Gules. Seems to me he trusts you pretty much.
What? He wanted to skin me alive.
But he didn't.
What's that got to do with anything, anyway?
Well, I'd say you have a way with the nobles. People trust you. You just say it was the rashness of youth. Pour ashes on your head, and they'll be lenient. You'll tell Lord Semine it was a youthful folly, eat crow, and that'll be that.
Convince his lordship? I'm not sure.
Well, either you give it a try, or we fight it out, or you jump.
Although, Ma always said I could talk my way out of anything. For sure. I'm better at it than fighting with strangers or diving headfirst off a cliff. All right. But only if you'll put in a good word for me. You'll tell them that I gave him up right away, and I don't know, well, the face of the Virgin Mary appeared in the clouds?
You got it. But I'll try and think up something better than the Virgin Mary.
All right. Let's go.
I've got a prisoner for you, sir.
Excellent. It all worked out quite well in the end. Gnarly will take care of this scum.
What about Gules?
He caught a few good hits, but he's alive. We'll take him with us. I need to have a strong word with him. You did a good job, youngster. You've got heart. And so you don't say I had you clambering over these rocks for nothing. Here's something for you.
Thank you, sir.
Don't thank me, you deserved it. And now, let's get that accursed cart back to Semine. Want to ride? We'll go via Troskovitz. We can drop you off there, and you won't have far to Tarkov. You ought to report back to Radovan as soon as possible about what happened with these hands.
Could you wait a while? I'd better just check that I haven't lost anything while running around here.
All right, but make it quick. I was happy to get out of Semine for a while, but now I'm looking forward to being back at my own fireside.
Is that offer of a ride still open?
Sure, if you want.
A ride would be great. My legs are sore.
Wait until you're my age. Well, let's get going.
I didn't do nothing wrong, I swear. It's all Vence's fault. It was him who said we'll sell the car to Gills.
It weren't like that at all. We shook on it. But on the way, you had the idea we'd keep it.
What? That ain't true.
Leave it out, you two. One way or another, you wanted to fuck me over. Doesn't matter whose idea it was.
A thief robbing a thief? What a world.
I'm still a nobleman, if you don't mind. So I'm not a thief. I'm a robber baron.
A thief's a thief.
Where are you taking us?
To Sameen, where his lordship will hear you out and decide what to do with you.
I hope you realise you can't just execute me.
It depends. By rights, I should send a plea to some court to decide if we can behead you. But in these shitty times, nobody will give a toss. Parchment's dear, and ink ain't free either. So as far as I'm concerned, I'd happily risk it and lop your head off without permission.
I see how the law is respected here.
Ha! Are you yanking my bizzle? You're a fine one to talk about law.
And what will happen to us?
If Lord Semeen's in a good mood, he'll try to find out whose idea it was.
It definitely wasn't mine.
You're such a rat, Frenzy.
On the other hand, when I hear you lot going on and on, I reckon he might not give a damn.
I'm innocent. I swear on my ma's soul.
Is that supposed to soften my heart? Pah! Every man she could, I dragged to the gallows, swore on his mother. Nobody with any decency would risk his mother's immortal soul, even if he was as pure as the driven snow. But this bastard doesn't think twice about his soul. You should be ashamed of yourself.
The captain's right. Only the lowest of the low swears on his mother.
That's right. You always were a piece of shit, Francie. No scruples.
Well, ain't it grand to have you here to explain everything? Now shut your gobs, the three of you. Don't want you poisoning the air with the shit you spout.
So, job done. The cart was found and driven to Lord Semeen's courtyard.
Whew. That's a relief. And what happened to that pair of idiots?
It turned out they tried to rob you.
Oh. They did they?
Aye. They plotted with some robber baron called Gules and brought the cart to him.
The bastards. I should have realised they were a bit too keen on work. And how did you get the cart back?
Well, I went to Semeen, and they were wondering there too where the wagon got to. So we rode out to look for it. Me, Lord Semeen, and his captain, Gnarly.
Well, God's nails. And the three of you tracked them down? The whole band?
That's right. They were hiding in Apollonia, along with the cart and the goods.
Indeed. Where else? The bastards. And what about my hands?
I'm not sure. Lord Semeen took them and Gules to his courtyard. We'll see how he deals with them.
I'd know what to do with them.
Don't worry. I don't think Lord Semeen will let them off lightly.
Anyway, the main thing is the cart turned up. I'd be in a right mess if it didn't.
No doubt.
And you've earned a reward for your trouble. I've got just the thing for you. Some mercenary once had his cuirass repaired here, but never came back for it. Who knows what happened to him? So now it's yours. It's been through a bit, but it'll still serve for a while.
Thanks. It'll come in handy. And have you got another job for me?
Young Lord Semeen's wedding is coming up, and it's got my head spinning. Look, you must have seen Agnes, the bailiff's daughter, when you were in Truscovitz. What do you think of her?
Well, young Semeen is marrying her, isn't he? Why would I have my eye on her?
Don't pretend. A statue of a saint would have his eye on her. Looks ain't everything, though. She's got such a sharp tongue on her. I almost feel sorry for young Semeen. And how about you, lad? Have you got some lass waiting in Sasau?
Yeah. And I hope she'll wait. Her name's Teresa. Her uncle owns a mill on the river in Ratai.
A girl from a mill? You want to watch out for them types. You might get caught up in devilry, lad. A wedding's a serious business. You're not just getting a bride, but a whole family. So you have to show them you're a man who's worth it. All the more so when you're noble born. Old Semin wants a special sword forged for his son's wedding present.
Excellent. So what are we waiting for? Should we get to work?
Hold your horses. It can't be any old steel. This has to be a first-class job.
A blade of first-class steel?
That's right. And that's just the problem.
Ah, I see. We don't have any welded steel for that kind of sword, do we?
God's nails. You really know your stuff, youngster. And you're right. We don't have the steel for a strong sword that won't break.
I'd like to know where you're going to get your hands on some welded steel.
Relax, lad. I've got it all figured out, as it happens. There's this old hermit called Ambrose, living in Apollonia.
And he can pray for us?
God's nails, let me finish talking. The word is, he was fighting heathens years ago in faraway Andalusia, and folks say they saw this interesting broken sword in his hut. From the description, it seems our peculiar hermit has a real Toledo blade.
Welded Spanish steel? There's nothing better for a sword.
See now? You do understand. But there's a catch.
Naturally.
They say that Ambrose the Hermit has changed a lot recently. People from far and wide used to go to him for remedies and blessings. But now he won't see no one. I even heard he made a pact with the devil. And there have been other strange goings-on.
What strange goings-on?
I heard something in the tavern about some apparition. But that's all I know.
Where can I find the hermit?
Do I look like someone who goes to a hermit for advice? I know he has a hut somewhere in Apollonia. But you'll have to ask the Truscovitz womenfolk if you want to know more.
Right. I'll try to find out more about the hermit's sword. But in return, you'll get me invited to Semin's wedding.
If it means so much to you, why not? Go and see Betty from the Truscovitz Tavern. She knows all the gossip. She'll definitely tell you more about the hermit. But Henry, if there's any truth in that pact with the devil, don't get caught up in it. The best sword in the world isn't worth eternal damnation.
Welcome. What can I do for
You already taken care of your band?
you? Don't you start with that too.
So you didn't.
After you attacked me in Apollonia, I'm so battered I can hardly wipe my own arse. Old man Samin will just have to be a bit more patient.
What if I helped you?
Well, well. Someone fancies himself.
I can handle a few footpads.
These aren't any ordinary footpads. They're a bunch of the most depraved whoresons I've ever met. Would you dare to take them on?
Yeah. Just tell me what I need to do.
So listen up. From what I've heard, there's another 4 of those scum roaming the countryside. I'd bet my boots that a few more will hitch up with them in time, so it won't be easy. You can start with Canker.
Canker? Interesting name. Why is he called that?
He already had that name when he joined us. I reckon they started calling him that on account of how he's rotten to the core.
If you say so.
Hey, don't be cheeky, youngster.
Where can I find him?
I don't know. I only know that he and his band were ambushing travellers on the road from Troskovitz to the Nabokov mill.
So how do you want to find him then?
Easy. I'd wait for him to find me. With a little luck, he'll ambush you in one of those places too. Or one of his people will.
You don't have a better idea?
What did you expect? That I'd search the whole forest for him? Go ahead and try and find him that way if you like. But I think you're more likely to roll straight 6s and dice.
What do you know about his band?
Not much. We've never seen them all together, so I can't even tell you how many of them there are. But there won't be many. Canker has never dared tackle anything too big. Usually just some poor souls on their travels.
That's enough for me.
Well, good luck, lad. Oh, and I almost forgot. When you're done, bring me Canker's mace. As proof.
Why? You don't trust me?
Why should I?
To buy bread. Mother Mary, good people, please. Alms for a servant of God. Alms for a poor man to buy bread. Help.
Get over here so I can fucking cut you up.
Show what you're made of.
Show your stuff!
Fuck you!
I'm all...
You can't take me!
Fuck! What do you want? Wanker!
Go to hell! We're under attack!
Fucking hell!
I'll shove the steel up your ass!
I've been... Hey! Get him! You want to try me?
We're gonna gut you, you whore son!
What do you want, fellas? Useless. A bandit. Quick. Charge!
Enough! I give up! Let me go. Please.
Drop your weapon and leave.
Here you go. Now keep your word. You got what you wanted. Now let me go.
That looks like a merchant's wagon that's been ambushed. I reckon that's Canker's handiwork. His camp is just down there. God be with you, noble sir. I'm Henry of Skalitz, and I serve the Lord of Lipa.
Sir Kunesh of Belevitz. Poor as a church mouse, but a free man once again.
A free man again? What happened to you, Kunesh?
Ah, the greatest of misfortunes befell me. Figuring out this war is a job and a half.
Aye. This feuding between the royal brothers is damn muddled, all right.
Precisely. I gambled on Jobst over Sigismund a few years back. Only his Hungarian cavalry soon routed us, and I spent 2 years in captivity.
You were held captive? What was it like?
Hardly wondrous, I'll tell you that. But what irritated me most was being powerless to do anything. It's all those blasted Hungarians' fault. They can shove my silver up their arse and then lick it and kiss it for all I care.
I totally agree. Sigismund is holding his brother Wenceslas, the rightful king, under lock and key in Vienna.
What a bloody awful affair this war is. In my day, men would fight with honor and integrity, not stab each other in the back.
My sentiments exactly, Sir Kunesh.
Why, young man, I see you stand with Wenceslas, eh? I tell you, though, he's the one who dragged our land into this mess.
How so? It was the Hungarians who captured you, wasn't it?
because I was a fool. But I've realized that the only competent king here is Sigismund.
I disagree with you, sir. Sigismund is a scoundrel who will do our land no good. Again.
That's what often happens in war. Still, for the good of the country, I'll side with Sigismund in the end, especially considering what a drunkard and fornicator that brother of his is.
Wenceslas stands up for his people.
Wenceslas can't even see the tip of his nose, and things are only getting worse.
Sigismund's no king. He's nothing but a murderous thief. I challenge you to a duel, sir.
What? You want to fight me? You're not a noble, but what do I care? Making you skip and jump will amuse me, whelp.
Go on. Nice. Christ, you've got some energy.
Well, lad, it was a good fight, but you have been bested. You fought honourably, but you lost. Next time, be more careful who you challenge, you hear?
I took care of Canker.
Seriously? So you brought me his mace like I told you to?
Of course. Here you go.
Yeah, that's it. Canker's best mate. Just as filthy and slimy as its owner. Good job, Henry. Here you go. It's not much, but I won't get any more than that out of old Sameen for the job.
Who's next?
Hold your horses, lad. Those bastards have to be tracked down. Give me some time.
Fine. I'll stop by later. I need some advice.
You want some advice? Here's some for free. I catch you fighting here again, and I'll spank your bare ass like a brat. Down to business. I don't have all day for you, so what do you want?
I promised Radovan the blacksmith I'd go and see Ambrose the Hermit in Apollonia.
My God, lad, stay away from them rocks. Ambrose the Hermit sold his soul to the devil and won't talk to nobody no more.
Yeah, I heard that as well. But it seems a bit far-fetched.
So why would an evil spirit suddenly start appearing near Apollonia? It's the devil's work, believe you me.
And has anyone sent to the castle for the priest?
Not at all. Bailiff Thrush is keeping it quiet so far. 4 strangers came here yesterday. They sat in the corner there, but once they heard about the apparition, they started to take a big interest.
What strangers?
They looked like monks, only they had daggers concealed under their robes. I saw them clearly. I'm telling you, there's something fishy going on around Ambrose.
But I have to speak to him.
Didn't you hear what I said? He doesn't speak to nobody. He hides away in his hut and sends everyone away. I'd think long and hard before doing anything if I was you, because this reeks of hell.
There's something else I need to know about this hermit.
Ask then if you must.
Where did these peculiar monks come from?
Hard to say, but they rode in on well-fed horses.
Monks on horseback? That's definitely odd.
Well, Bashka the Butcher says they came from the bishop about that diabolical apparition. In short, the Inquisition.
What do you know about this apparition?
Stanislav, the herds boy. He comes running into the village that night, all terrified, saying he'd seen a rider from hell in Apollonia. And the very next night, it appeared in the rocks below the road to Tahov. There's this conciliatory stone cross there. And the next day, it was at a funny angle. There's some devilry in it for sure.
Where can I find the herds boy?
Stanislav has a sheep pen in the meadow beyond the Troskovitz graveyard, right above the big crossroads outside Apollonia.
What would you like this morning?
What happened to Ambrose the Hermit?
He's at death's door with some ailment, and there's a peculiar talk about him. They say he made a pact with hell.
I was told Stanislav the herds boy saw the devil in the rocks.
God in heaven save us. It happened a few days ago. He saw him with his own 2 eyes.
What happened at the conciliatory cross?
Hard to say. It was turned around. But what Gerda from the apothecary saw there, you'll have to ask her.
Lord be with you.
I'd like to ask you about something.
No, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Go away, please.
Wait, Gerda. I didn't come to mock you. On the contrary, I want to help you.
Really?
I believe you really did see something. But I want to know what it really was.
So, what do you want me to tell you?
Relax, Gerda. Have a think, and then tell me what happened with the apparition.
It was the day before yesterday. I was picking marshmallow roots above the rocks. It grows by the cross there, near the big dry tree not far from the road to Tachov. I didn't get home till after dark when I suddenly realized I didn't have my knife.
So you went back to the cross?
God have mercy. He hopped up right out of the ground in front of me. He was all in black and he was grinding his teeth. I started to scream. There was something glinting in the dark and this clanking sound and I just turned and scarpered.
That's all?
At one point I turned around and I saw a dark shadow darting across the field. Proper flying along it was like the devil and heading straight to Apollonia.
What's this place where you saw the apparition?
It's a conciliatory cross, erected in the memory of some innocent's death. They say some years ago, a young fellow killed himself on account of an unhappy love affair. He jumped from a cliff.
And the day after you saw the apparition, the cross was at an angle?
Aye, all askew. Everyone here saw it. I didn't go back. I can't.
Don't worry, Gerda. Nobody's going to make fun of you anymore. I'll find out what it was all about and what you really saw there.
What do you think happened?
I don't know yet, but you needn't fear. Everything will get cleared up soon.
Thank you. By all of the saints, thank you. But please, come and tell me how it turned out. I'll make it worth your while.
I hear you saw some diabolical apparition. Is that true?
Was it the bailiff who sent you? Or old Croper?
No. I want to go to Apollonia to see Ambrose, the Hermit. I've heard talk he's somehow linked to that apparition. So I need to know what you saw that night.
Why do you want to know? Forget that shit, pal. It reeks of fire and brimstone.
I know how to deal with evil spirits. I know a spell. Want to learn it?
Of course!
Say after me. Vade retro satana.
Vade retro satana.
Vade retro satana. Remember that. You just have to say it, and you'll drive away the devil.
My God, what a spell! It's clear you know your stuff. What did you want to know?
What exactly did you see that night at the crossroads?
A diabolical apparition. A black rider on a black horse flew into Apollonia. His eyes glowed, and his horse was black as charcoal. He turned this way and that a couple of times at the crossroads, and then darted off into the rocks. To the Hermit's place, I'm sure.
He turned this way and that? That's strange. Would the devil not know the way?
I'm telling the truth. Gerda from the apothecary saw him too.
But the Hermit helps people though, doesn't he?
Aye, he did. Only now they're saying he was at death's door and sold his soul to the devil. And that was the horseman.
Why? Why would the old man have sold his soul to the devil and then kept living as a pauper in his hut?
Who knows what's going on in them rocks? Some devilish trickery for sure.
The conciliatory cross. A memorial to the unfortunate death of that young man. But I'm more interested in what secrets it conceals now. Fresh soil. Someone was digging here recently. It doesn't look like an apparition, Gerda. He didn't take either the coin or the books. So it wasn't a thief. It must be something else he was after.
You're a dead man! Do it!
You can't take me!
We'll see about that.
You want to try me? Like that, eh?
Take that
You want
fucker
to
out!
try me? You want to try me?
Mercy! Leave me be! I surrender. Let me go.
Get out of here!
I won't forget this.
A horse? What's it doing here in the woods? I should take a closer look. A beautiful horse. Black as charcoal. The herds boy wasn't lying. And you don't smell of brimstone. You're just an ordinary horse. Someone really did come to see the hermit. But it wasn't the devil. Judging by what I've heard about you, you're a bit fishy, Hermit.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a lot of talk about you in the village. They say you've made a pact with the devil, and are summoning demons from hell.
Old wives' tales. What do I care about such nonsense?
Well, but supposing it isn't nonsense.
Of course it is.
The apparition was seen by the conciliatory cross at night.
Old wives' tales.
I went to take a look, and it really is askew. But it wasn't magic that Hellspawn was wielding. It was a shovel. There was a hiding place beneath the cross. And the man digging there at night didn't have time to put the cross back in the right position.
By all the saints! So someone was digging there. What has that to do with me?
There was a brand new cloak of the Knights of the Cross in the hiding place. It's clear that the man doing the digging hid it there. Maybe to cover up who he really is. And what he's planning.
I still don't know what you want from me. What have I got to do with some cloak?
A few nights ago, a herdsboy saw a black horseman ride into Apollonia. He thought it was an apparition, but I think a demon would have known the road to Apollonia and wouldn't have spun round and round at the crossroads like a top.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I found a black horse stabled in a pen here. In the woods below the rocks. A well-fed, healthy horse. Black as charcoal. The man who rode on it wasn't an apparition. Or the devil.
Why are you telling me all this? For God's sake! Stop this nonsense right now.
I found some pretty interesting documents of the Order.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I reckon you do, Ambrose. According to one of the documents, you were appointed Seneschal of the Knights of the Cross with the Red Star. Or are you going to tell me it was some other Ambrose?
I'm not going to tell you anything. I don't know anything about any documents.
That's enough. I think there are enough fishy things going on around you for me to tell the bailiff. But you're in luck. All I'm after is that broken sword. So, come clean.
You're wide of the mark. But in the end, maybe you could help me.
What do you want help with, Ambrose?
I'm not Ambrose. He died some time ago. I am Conrad, Knight of the Cross with the Red Star.
What are you doing in the Hermit's hut, then?
In Prague, I got into a serious dispute. Ambrose was the only person who could help me. That's why I came to see him.
I'm guessing that the diabolical horseman scaring people round these parts was you.
That was not my intention, believe me.
Ambrose is dead, you say? How did it happen?
He was an old man. Unfortunately, he was already at death's door when I found him.
And you had nothing to do with his death?
Of course not. Ambrose was my friend. I'd known him for 20 years. He was a good member of the Order, and an outstanding teacher.
Ambrose was a member of your order?
More than a member. He was the Seneschal, second in rank only to the Grand Master. He served the Order for many years before getting into a dispute with the Prague chapter and the Inquisition. Then he had to disappear. I was the only one to know where to look for him. But I came too late. All he managed to tell me was his last wish.
You scared the life out of Gerda from Troskovitz that night. What were you doing there?
Ambrose had a hiding place beneath the cross where he kept things from his past.
I found some documents there from the Knights of the Cross. But Ambrose clearly wasn't interested in them. So what did he send you to get?
He sensed that death was coming for him. He wanted me to help settle his affairs. And he also longed to hold his old sword in his hands one last time. I went to his hiding place that very night. But by the time I got back, Ambrose was dead. I put the blade on his grave in place of a cross.
So the sword is on Ambrose's grave. Will you tell me where I can find it?
You want to disturb his rest?
I just want the sword, that's all. It's no use to him now.
All right. I'll tell you where his grave is if you fulfill Ambrose's last wish instead of me. I can't do it.
All right. What am I supposed to do?
Listen carefully, then. There's an old widow called Margaret living in the village. Take this cross to her and say to her exactly these words. Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what is rightfully his.
Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what is rightfully his.
That's right.
I hope she'll know what this is about.
Don't worry, she will. Give her the cross, and I'll tell you where you can find the sword. Benedictio Domini sit tecum.
Good day. What would you like?
This might seem strange, but I'm supposed to give you this.
A cross? Mother of God. What's the meaning of this?
Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what he deserves.
Ambrose? The hermit?
It was his wish that I give you the cross and the message. He said you'd know what it's about.
Oh my God! By all that's holy, it couldn't possibly be him. All those years, I'd lost hope. I never forgave myself. I committed a mortal sin.
Well, I don't know what you did. But this is supposed to be your absolution.
No, there's no absolution. Not yet. You said it yourself. Not until Ambrose's brother gets what he deserves. The bones. They still lie there outside the wall. Help me. His soul must find peace.
All right. I'll help you. But you'll have to tell me more.
Thank you, lad, thank you. But not here. We must go to the graveyard. That's where my curse lies.
Let's go then. There's no time to waste.
Here it is.
What does the graveyard have to do with absolution?
Hold on. Not so fast. I'll tell you everything. First, tell me... Are you afraid of the dead?
It's the living I'm more afraid of than the dead.
One should fear the dead. But in the end, it's probably a good thing that you have no fear. You see, one poor soul is waiting for redemption. For years and years.
Ah, I get it now. Ambrose's brother has to get what he deserves. This is about the soul of Ambrose's brother.
His name was Jan. He lies outside the graveyard wall, buried without rites. He's been there for 30 years.
Why doesn't he have a proper grave?
Because suicides can't enter the kingdom of heaven. They have to be buried outside the walls, like the unclean. The worst thing about it is that Jan didn't kill himself. He didn't deserve such a dishonourable burial, and it's my fault. I said nothing.
What happened to him?
The memories are painful. We were childhood friends, and Jan loved me. Only I chose his friend Vashek over him. He couldn't get over the rejection, so he lay in wait for Vashek one evening.
And Vashek killed him?
It was an accident. They quarrelled. Jan drew his sword first, and Vashek had to defend himself. Apparently, they got close to the cliff edge while they were fighting, and Jan fell. When they found his body at the bottom of the cliff, people thought he'd killed himself. The only one who didn't believe it was Jan's brother.
Did you see it? Were you there?
No, but I believed my Vashek. He would never have lied to me. It pained him till the day he died, and he lived in fear of Jan's brother creeping up behind him one day and taking his revenge. In the end, that fear ate him up from inside.
Why didn't Ambrose avenge his brother Jan's death? He must have realised that you two were involved in it.
He went away to Prague and joined an order of knights. He didn't want revenge, most likely. He let us live in peace.
But then he came back and became a hermit in Apollonia. It never occurred to you that it was him?
No. His name was Adam before, but he changed it to Ambrose. Besides, he got old, and I don't go to the cliffs much.
Ah, the conciliatory cross where they saw the apparition. That's to commemorate Jan.
His brother Ambrose had it built there. And those diabolical apparitions. It's my fault for saying nothing. God is punishing me for my sins.
Nonsense. God wouldn't use a diabolical apparition to scare you, would he? And what's more, Ambrose forgave you, didn't he?
Only on the condition that Jan's bones will be laid to rest in consecrated ground. Help me lay him to rest in a proper grave, please.
But without telling the priest and gravedigger. Isn't that sacrilege?
That's the only way we can put right a terrible mistake. Jan didn't kill himself.
All right. We'll give him a proper burial. Jan's soul has the right to eternal rest.
Thank you. The Lord will pay you back 100-fold. There's a rose bush outside the graveyard wall. You'll find his bones beneath it. Please bury him beside my Vashek. Here, beneath the pine tree. In that way they'll be reconciled at least in death. Then place Ambrose's cross on his grave to bless their reconciliation. Kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our...
Your journey ends here, Jan. I don't know what you have in your conscience. But rest in peace. I don't know much about prayer in these situations, but... Our Father, there are many sinners in this world. But in the end, we all face your judgment. For what we should have done, but lacked the courage to do. So forgive me this little sacrilege. You know better than anyone that it was the right thing to do. Thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven, and deliver us from evil. Amen. Ambrose's brother Jan got what he deserved, just as the hermit wanted.
I saw that. May his soul find peace at last.
And yours too, Margaret.
30 years. I thought about it every day.
It's all right now. You did the right thing. Everything else is beyond the law of man.
I'd like to reward you somehow.
I expect you wouldn't want anyone to hear about all this, right?
Well, if you... Will you keep it to yourself?
I don't want anything. And I won't tell anyone.
Thank you. My nephew is a tailor, and he knows a thing or two about alchemy. If you ever need anything from him, I'll put in a word for you. God be with you, Henry.
Virgin Mary,
Hey,
Mother of
fella!
God.
Listen, we need help.
Who are you? And who do you serve?
We are Knights of the Cross with the Red Star. Good brothers in Christ. I'll explain everything, but there's no time now. We have to act fast. Our brother Klesgen is dying. The crazy fool shot him. Help us.
What happened?
If you're going to see the Hermit, be warned. The man in the hut is just pretending to be the Hermit. His name is Conrad, and he's a fraud and a murderer. The Inquisition paid him to murder our Grandmaster Zdeněk in Prague. Fortunately, God did not let him carry out the crime. But 2 of our brothers were killed by Conrad when they tried to detain him.
And I see a third one will soon join them.
He was just about to flee from here as well. We took him by surprise, but he had time to grab that damned crossbow and shoot Klesgen. By the Virgin Mary, help us. We have to catch him.
Why should I get mixed up in it?
I'll pay you. We just need to distract Conrad's attention. That's all. Otherwise, we won't have a chance against his crossbow in that gorge.
You're a knight of an order.
Yes. I am Brother Arnold, a Knight of the Cross with the Red Star. And these are Brothers Sibald and Nicholas. You are too late to make the acquaintance of Brother Klesgen, I'm afraid. We take care of the sick in infirmaries throughout the land. But we can't help our brother. You have to help us, while there's still time.
This is your business. I'm not gonna get mixed up in it.
Mary, Mother of God. You must be in league with him. Of course. Why else would you be here? Damn it! I should have known.
You think you can threaten me? I won't put up with that. I'm not afraid of you.
You're making a fatal mistake, youngster.
Got you! Oh, God.
You wanna try me?
And you'll get another right away!
Do it!
What the fuck was that?
Show what you're...
Useless!
I'll beat you to a bloody fucker!
Pray, you bastard!
Useless! Damn it! What was that all about?
I think I owe you an explanation.
Yeah, you're right. Let's hear it then.
And what is it you want to hear from me?
Why were they trying to kill you?
I had proof that our Grand Master Zdeněk had betrayed the Order and was conspiring with the Prague chapter. But it was turned against me. Damned Inquisition. First they chased out Ambrose, and now me.
Where can I find Ambrose's broken sword?
It's not far. At the edge of the meadow up there are 2 entangled birch trees. There's a grave beneath them, and the sword is on the grave.
That's all I need to know.
And that's an end to it. This is in return for your silence.
Thank you. I won't say a word. Don't worry.
Farewell, friend. Go with God. Benedictio Domini sit tecum.
Now that's what I call steel. It may be broken, with hardly a trace of rust.
Greetings. What do you need?
So I'm back, Master Blacksmith.
Excellent. How did it go with the Hermit?
He's dead.
What? Did you?
No, not me. It just got a bit complicated. Anyway, it turns out old Ambrose really used to be a knight. And this really is Toledo steel. You were right, Blacksmith.
God's nails. That's quite something.
First class, Welded steel. Ambrose must have broken the sword himself, deliberately. It wouldn't have just happened in battle.
That's exactly what we need. See now, youngster. My clever plan worked out nicely in the end.
Right. Well, thank you very much for your, clever plan.
You haven't disappointed me yet, lad. So I'm sure forging an exceptional sword won't be a problem for you either.
Wait, I thought you wanted to do it yourself. I'm just your assistant, after all.
Not at all. I trust you. One day you'll become a master. That is, unless you lose your head first.
I've got something for you, Blacksmith.
God's nails, you weren't bullshitting.
I'd say it looks pretty much like a sword, eh?
Looks like. This is a damned fine piece of steel. Damned fine.
Thanks. I was glad to help, but now there's something I need from you.
I'll pay you, of course. And if you want to do some smithing, I won't throw you out of my forge either.
No, you know full well what I need. I have to get to Samin's wedding.
Why is it so important for you? It'll just be a lot of people stuffing their faces. You can find that anywhere.
I have my reasons, and you don't need to know them.
God's nails, lad. You're full of mysteries. But whatever, that's your business. I don't mind taking you to the wedding. Nothing to it. We can set off once you're ready.
Back to Hungary with his tail between
How can I help you today, friend?
I'd like a set of clothes for the wedding.
You've come to the right place. I'm sure you'll find something you like. And when you change into it, I'll tell you right away if it's appropriate for the wedding. I know what I'm talking about. I'm invited too. I sewed clothes for the groom.
Show me your wares. What do you think? Can I wear this to the wedding?
Magnificent. I couldn't have picked a better outfit myself. I think you're ready to dazzle them all.
God be with you, sir.
I know now how it is with the apparition you saw by the cross.
Really? So tell me, who did I see at the cross? It still keeps me up at night.
It was Conrad, an old friend of the Hermit, Ambrose, and a knight of the cross with the red star. Ambrose sent him to dig up his secret hiding place, and you surprised him there.
I surprised him. I'm the one who almost dropped dead. Have you got any proof? So I know you haven't just made it all up.
I talked to Conrad, and he owned up to everything.
My God, you spoke with that apparition?
There's no devil here, and never was. This was nothing more than a dispute between their order and the Bishop's Inquisition.
Thank God that's all there is to it. And may the old hermit's soul rest in peace. And thank you, too. If you need anything from the apothecary, I'll put in a word with my husband. He's very good. And take this book. It might come in useful for you. Or you can sell it.
So, how are you doing?
Well, not bad, all things considered. I mean, with all that happened over the past few days.
I understand. I didn't want to upset you. I was just wondering if you had everything you needed, and so on.
You're so sweet, but we're doing all right. Don't worry about us. What we need and can't make ourselves, we buy. We earn some coin from my baskets and Mother's medicines, but mostly we live off what the forest provides. Ma taught me about every flower, root and mushroom, so I pick a lot of things. Ma can cook a hare like no one else, so I bring a lot of them. I can hit one at 30 paces. Sometimes we even eat venison. I can shoot a deer at 50 paces, but don't tell anyone.
Of course. You can trust me. Hitting a hare at 30 paces, that's some serious marksmanship. I'm not sure I could do it. Perhaps you could teach me a few tricks.
I'd be happy to, but don't expect any miracles. You just need to know your way around the forest and practice a lot. And when you live alone in the forest, you've got plenty of time for that.
Thank you once again for saving Sir Hans's life. And mine. I promised I'd pay you back, and I keep my word. So please accept this token of gratitude on behalf of me and Sir Hans.
Thank you, Henry. You're an honourable man who doesn't make promises lightly. I'll put it aside for Pavlena. At least she'll have something now, after all the horrors she's been through.
How can I help you?
I could use the company of a pretty bathmate.
My girls know how to make a fella happy.
What I really need right now is a little taste of paradise.
All right, but money up front. You don't see stamina like that every day. See you next time, warrior.
Can you believe it? Somebody bumped him off and didn't even rob him.
That is strange. I reckon something devilish was involved. You don't see something like that every day.